Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most frequent questions that I see pop up on military Space A Facebook groups. And the question is asked and answered again and again, but it hasn't been addressed here. And the question is, can I fly military Space A to the Philippines? And the answer to that simple question is no, but maybe, sort of. So how can I give such a convoluted response to a simple question? Well, because it's a complicated answer. And that's why I wanted to do today's video here on the subject, to be able to walk you through the answer so that you understand why the answer is no, but maybe sort of. Let's start by establishing clearly and definitively that presently, although you will occasionally see military flights listed and scheduled to fly to Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, even though sometimes those flights might show available seats, currently no space available travel is authorized by the government of the Philippines. So Space A travelers cannot fly direct to Clark Air Base in the Philippines. It's off the table. The answer is no, and you can't do it. So what do I mean by maybe, sort of? Well, recognizing that direct flights are off the table, that does not mean that you cannot take Space A flights to a destination that is geographically close or relatively close regionally to the Philippines, and then fly commercial air for the last leg of your trip. So technically, the most accurate response is that you can use military Space A to get you part of the way to the Philippines or back from the Philippines. Now, what exactly would that route look like? Now, that depends upon your specific Space A eligibility, because if you're a 100% permanent and total disabled veteran, or a gray zone retired Reserve or National Guard veteran, retired but not yet 60 years old and not yet receiving retired pay, just for clarity, those two groups, disabled veterans and gray zone retirees, are limited geographically to flying within the contiguous United States, Hawaii, Alaska, and U.S. territories. So based on that geographic eligibility and the fact that they cannot fly to foreign destinations, Space A, a disabled veteran meeting the criteria or a gray zone retiree could fly the southern route from the contiguous United States, or CONUS, with the destination of Guam, which is a U.S. territory, and then use Guam as their jump-off point to fly commercially the rest of the way to the Philippines. Let's just call that the southern route. And what would that route look like? Well, I'll just use my personal favorite starting point, Travis Air Force Base, California. With regular missions to Hawaii and or Guam, frequently flights will originate at Travis Air Force Base, fly to Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii, and then on to Guam. There may be a rest overnight in Hawaii. That's an example of what I'll call the southern route. And just a cursory look at the commercial flights from Guam to Manila using Google Flights, in the month of March 2025, I'm seeing flights ranging from $278 all the way down to $183 for a one-way ticket for that last leg of the trip. And theoretically, if you're a traveler with time on your hands and the resources to be able to slow travel, you could just reverse that route coming back to the US. You have to calculate the potential cost savings and benefits, because it might be possible to get a direct flight to the US that would cost you less than the potential expenses from an extended stay in Guam or Hawaii. So it really does depend on your own unique circumstances. Now let's talk about the northern route. This route would be an option available to a retired veteran because they have the option to fly to foreign destinations that the other groups I described don't enjoy. So one example of a northern route could be to fly military Space A from the AMC Gateway at Seattle-Tacoma, or SeaTac, to Yokota, Japan. Or you could fly from Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii, to Yokota, Japan, and from Yokota, Japan, fly to Paya Lebar Air Base in Singapore. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that name. In reviewing Google Flights, There are flights ranging from as low as $88 to as high as $108 one way from Singapore to Manila. So it's pretty inexpensive to be able to fly regionally once you get there. Paya Lebar Air Base serves as a great jump off point and return point for all of Southeast Asia for military travelers. But that would be an example of a northern route that could be an option for you if you're a retired veteran. So I hope that explanation clears up some of the confusion surrounding this question. It can be difficult for folks who are just getting started with military space A, who may not even know their own eligibility, how to understand how these things factor into figuring out how to get to your destination, whether that's the Philippines or Greece or Germany. The bottom line here is, and the takeaway is, that even if your destination is not serviced by military space A, the question you have to ask yourself is, how close can you get to your desired destination and finish the last leg via commercial air or train? That opens up a ton of destinations. And those questions can only be answered by doing your own research and understanding the limitations of your own schedule and your budget. If you're just getting started with military space aid travel and you haven't seen my Space Aid Bootcamp series, just click right here and check those out. It should get you started on the right foot. I do hope you found this information useful, and if you did, please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you on the beaches.